Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your applause. Next up is the tribute part of the night, the tribute to John Berger. We had to drag him into this. We had to convince him. There was a committee that was formed to impress upon him how much we wanted to pay tribute to him. And after putting up great resistance, he finally acceded to the wishes of the committee.
$3 check.
So we're gonna do the tribute, and there's a lot of people on the list, and we're gonna kind of like go for about 5 minutes per person, give or take. You know, everything's a little bit fungible or whatever, but you know, if it feels like things are dragging, then speed it up. But I can't imagine how it would be. But we're gonna start off the John Berger tribute with a magic trick. This is a trick. This is a trick in which a member of the audience will be vivisected live in front of you. I used to do the double flaming sword vivisection out in Vegas, until I accidentally singed the hair of an audience member. Until that lawsuit is worked out, I can no longer use pyrotechnics. So now I vivisect audience members with rope.
Whoa.
With rope, ladies and gentlemen. And I need a volunteer who would like to be vivisected. Need a volunteer who would like to be vivisected. Need a volunteer. Oh God. I need one other vivisector. Okay, Mr. Black.
Mr. Black. Get up, get in.
Mr. Black.
Where's the sweet spot?
Okay, you're in the sweet spot. Okay, madam, if you could stand right over here, madam, and you can face in. Stand there, and then right here, and then you can just face in this way, right, like face me. Okay, where's our other vivisector?
Whoa.
You can stand right here and face the other assistant. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm going to vivisect. We are going to vivisect John with these ropes, Mr. Berger. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass these around like, ooh, hold on to the ropes here, and you hold on to the ropes here. Now, I need to explain that this is the trick that I used to perform with my assistant, the lovely Vera. So we would be the vivisectors. And as you may notice, Vera is not here tonight.
Oh.
She left me. Oh. She left me for Stewie the Stupendous, that rat bastard! No! But don't worry. I've mastered the vivisection trick, no problem. I can do it on my own. I'm a great magician. I can do it without the lovely Vera. So let's see. What we do is...
How many times have you done it?
You're going to pull. When I say, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and when I say the word pull, you guys are going to pull as hard as you can forward, and the ropes are going to come right through John. Okay, no, I think I have to do, wait, there's one thing that I have to just, I'm not sure what that is, but don't worry about it. Okay, so on the count of 3, but only when I say the word pull. Pull as hard as you, okay. No, not now. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to pull when I say the word pull. Are you ready? 1, 2, wait a second, hold on. Hold on 1 second. I know how to do this. It says vivisect an audience member who is slender of girth. Okay, no problem. It says vivisect an audience member who is modest and quiet. All right, I got that. All right, forget it. I know how to do this. Sure. Okay, first of all, what I need to do is I need to secure the rope. So yeah, give me one rope. Hold that like that. Hold like that. Now, when I say the word pull, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, pull. Yes, and pull as hard as you can. Yes, both ropes, but only when I say the word pull. 1, 2. Oh, I forgot to do the survey of what you've eaten today. Have you eaten anything unusual? Anything fried? Anything straight? Oh my God. I've never had to disqualify a candidate. Never mind. When I say the word pull. 1, 2. Oh, I forgot one other thing. Are you feeling relaxed? You got to relax. Shake it out.
Maybe
baby.
there's another day to do this.
Shake it around. Let me see it in the hips. You got to relax, or else you'll get stuck in the gizzard or the kidney or something like that. Shake it, baby. All right. You relax. This is going to be it. I need a drum roll from everybody in the audience. This is going to be it when I say the word pull.
All right, get out of here.
Okay.
The first participant in the tribute to John Berger tonight is another Sidewalk Cafe poet, Mr. Oliver Bear.
So the first thing I'm going to do is not going to read stuff. I figure no tribute to John Berger should be complete without a version of John Berger dancing. So I'm going to start off with a dance. It's my John Berger.
Yeah, just like John.
Yeah! All right, now I'm going to read stuff. So I think this is appropriate. John has don't think it's dignified enough to call this thing a book. A Xerox bunch of pages describing him. It's called White Trash, like me. I'd read this, but I don't think that really tributes him, so crap that. Typical John, I was writing down what I was going to read in my book, and he leaned over and went, you're writing that down that small? Haven't I told you to write stuff bigger so you can actually read it when you're on stage and you don't fuck up? So, fuck that.
I do know better.
Yeah.
Shut up.
So, one of the great things, if you know John, is he can't resist passing out flyers for his next show. Which, by the way, at this point, I'm sure there will be, if there's another next John Berger thing in the festival, I don't know, but he and I will be next showing sometime in March. I think it's March 22nd. The convenient thing about these flyers is they have poems on the back. So I happen to have flyers that I will be reading from, but I couldn't just leave it there.
No.
So I created my own thing from John Berger flyer poems. So the question is, do you want the flyer poems first, or do you want my version first?
Flyer poems first.
Okay, flyer poems first it is. So it turns out, 3 of the boys I fucked back in high school have come out as homosexual, which, if I'm being honest, makes me really anxious. If having sex with me was enough to turn 3 hot-blooded American straighties, what does that say? Do I turn boys to gay men? What is wrong with me? I am very uncomfortable with this turn of events. I'm anxious about my activities, and I'm afraid, very afraid, of what this portends. Somebody's gonna have to give me a heads up when it's like 3 minutes, 4 minutes in, 3 minutes in, 4 minutes in. Or you could say 5 if I get 7 minutes. My friends don't speak of you, and your pictures have mysteriously disappeared from their frames. The books you underlined collect dust beneath the bathroom sink, leaving holes in my shelves, growing ripples in my placid pool. My boss invites me to no family events, and I get half as many calls as I used to. The drips and ticks and clicks through the weekend are blinding, and the smell of Clorox has finally replaced the bathroom's cat shit stink. And our bedroom seems huge, as if something more than you is missing. Do you guys actually want the titles for these pieces of crap? I mean poems?
No.
The first one was called Joy Boy.
Yeah.
That one was called The Empty Spaces.
Oh my God.
This one's called Consider the Brick. When you describe the brick, think of all the details you can. Its history, its color, dimples, weight, depth, heft, and the very spiritual nature of the brick. Do not waste time describing the blood of brains caked upon it. Lesser artists will cover that. Heights. This is heights. The ceilings are high. Don't get me wrong, I love the place. I love that you love it. I love how you smile when you think I'm not looking. Foreseeing the memories we'll create in this our new home. I love the kitchen and I love the workroom. I love the guest room and I love the bedroom. I love the light and the warmth, and I love how you put touches up to show that it's yours, it's ours. It's more than a place, it's a home, a loving home. I love you. You've made the place a home for us and our family. I love it, but the ceilings are high. This one, I mean, I don't think this is a poem. I think it's an address, but I'll read it because I think it involves John Berger's mother. Predicto, One Bridge Plaza, 2nd floor, Fort Lee, New Jersey, 07024. Mrs. E. Berger, 132 Claremont Avenue, New York, 10027.
That was profound.
Wow, that was the most profound one. 1 minute? All right. So, fuck these. We're going to what I wrote for John.
Yeah.
So it turns out, my friends don't speak of you, or of when you describe the brick, just that the ceilings are high in 132 Claremont Avenue, of how I light a bonfire to our love, while, oh my God, she screamed, fuck me harder, fuck me faster, do it to me all night long. Filters through the walls. So that's certainly a baby you have there. A youthful joy boy to fill in the empty spaces when you used to consider the brick and steel that creates the heights of the city, while your new friend's funeral pyre shines over our renewed lovemaking. Now dance on your knees, everybody!
Thank you, Oliver.
Whoa!
Next up to pay tribute is another Sidewalk regular of literary bent, Mr. J.J. Hayes.
Of bent literature. It's hotter than hell. But I am hindered. I am heading for heaven. I am certain. I am questing. I am straining for new heights, attaining them slowly. Slowly, step by step, inch by inch, I am reaching for Jesus. There are simpler ways to get there, easier paths on this road. I could ride a horse, ride hundreds of horsepower, barreling up this mountain, blazing a holy trail for all to see. But there are certain requirements for entrance to my destination. There are necessary strategies for thinning the herd. But I am a fatted calf, fated for redemption, if I have the gumption, and probably I am not really looking for Jesus. Probably Jesus is just another word for truth, and truth is just another word for Twinkies, and And perhaps I am looking for God in all the wrong places. Perhaps I am seeking him on the wrong peak or with the wrong eyes. It hardly matters. The important thing is this voyage I am on. The important thing is the quest. And the sun beats down mercilessly. Holy smokes. I think I am blind. But soon I'll see. I'll soon see the light. I am looking. I am reaching. I am striving and climbing for Jesus.
Bob, are you you're doing a poem, right, Bob? Or you're doing participating in the tribute?
Yeah, I thought Ben was performing that.
Bob Black is up next. You can see that we're well coordinated here at Sidewalk.
Whatever, I'll turn it down. So I wanted to do a poem, but that no one else would do from John. So like I tried to not do like Pizza Bars and all that other shit. But then Rebecca gave me 2 poems that I'm sure someone else is gonna do. You know it. I'm like, all right. But I'm gonna do one that's really new because it was written on January 26, 2015 at 1:51 p.m. It's called Buster. Your college dog is dead. That t-shirt you got as a gift from the girl who just thought of you as a friend, yeah, that one, has got a hole in the front from when you poked it too hard during spring cleaning. Your favorite snack food of yesteryear has been rebranded, gone bankrupt, and is now unsatisfyingly back, aiming itself at a nostalgia market that wants to relive the glory days. Rejoice in a past gone golden, hazy, limited to sound bites and snapshots of better times. They may have been better. They may not. It doesn't matter either way. They were then, and now they're gone. And either way, you won't ever be able to walk those hills again with Buster. Because your college dog is dead. No, that's quite all right. That's quite all right. No. Do it. Do it now. Do it fast. Do it hard. It's not too late to do it. Do it good. Do it already. Do it today. Do it before it does you. And do it well. But not at the expense of not doing. It's more important to doing than not doing. Or thinking about doing or talking about doing. Or look, just do it all right. The it, even, is kind of irrelevant, insignificant, and unimportant. Something that what you should, and before you can regret it or question or talk yourself down. Do it, whatever it is. Even if it's me. Get it done. No, it's okay. No, thank you. If you guys could just not do that. Fuck you, poem. You're not good enough. Not clever enough. Not beautiful enough to make my point. Change the world. Win her love. Why couldn't you be better, poem? Why couldn't you have been written with more goodness baked in the lines? Wouldn't it be better if you were more lyrical, more mellifluous? More potent? You stupid fucking poem? Fuck you! Why didn't you improve yourself when I was writing you? Why did you get fixed while I was editing you? Didn't you know what I was getting at when I wrote you down? Fuck you, poem. I hate you. And I'm never reading you when you're published in my folio. Bob Black!
Yeah.
Tribute to Mr. John Berger here. The next person on our bill here is intimately familiar with the man being honored. He is familiar with his artistry. He's familiar with his motives and his aromas. Would you please welcome Mr. Barry Bliss?
It is very strange to say these words, honest words, thoughtful and true, that are in no way mine. I'm no Cyrano for sure, as my nose is quite delightful. But I am certainly not a Christian, a handsome, empty vessel to be filled by another. How can I justify faking my way through this play, reading another's words, as my way forward? This is bullshit. Why can't I just say the words from my heart, with my own rhythms and turns of phrase? Why must I be some puppet whose spine is replaced by another's hand? Why can't I express myself as I, me, myself? One of those has got to be right. At 16 in high school, with a pestilent post-pubescent body that defied revision and a self-esteem that deified revulsion, I conquered my fears and my frustrations and my sincere foundation belief that nobody understood me and that I was destined to be alone. And on a Tuesday morning, I asked Deborah Grayson out on a date. She didn't know what to say, hemming and hawing, and finally admitting to having a crush on my good friend Jean-Pierre, but not having anything else to do on Saturday afternoon, with no competitors for her romantic attention, she finally relented and gave me my shot. The week passed. Like an isolated, eternal instant, I kept my own high-amped counsel, not wanting Jean-Pierre to hear the girl of my dreams thought him the boy of her dreams, not wanting my parents to know all the intimate details of my non-love life, and not wanting my grade advisor to give me a new birds and bees discussion. Still, I had to tell someone. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday sped by eagerly, but every second in every class held me back, keeping me further away from my weekend, from my date with Destiny and Deborah. And there's more. When the sunny Saturday finally came, she was radiant and star-boring into the crater of my day. I didn't say that, of course. I said, "Hey." "Hey," she replied, and her skirt swishing, my heart wishing, we walked, shoulder to shoulder, the 3 blocks to the movie theater. It was a lame flick, and it was my choice, but we cracked jokes about it, and around when there would have been an intermission, if it were the 30s, I pulled out a 40 and a couple plastic champagne glasses and toasted to our good health. The 40 came from my Uncle Murray, who liked to think himself smooth with the ladies. When I confided in him about my weekend plans, he told me, "Nothing says lovin' like something with some liquor." And before rushing over to meet the girl, he took me shopping. The plastic glasses were my idea. I wasn't a big drinker, neither was she, but the movie couldn't occupy our full attention, and both of us knew at this aspect of teenage years, Deborah and I took in a lot more than our slight intolerant body weights should allow. Deborah was the first to giggle uncontrollably at the screen, but I soon followed suit. The movie ended, but we couldn't tell. We were busy snorting at things that weren't funny to the others, staring at us as they left the matinee, while we two, scrunched in our balcony seats, laughed and joked and spoke of things important to us, and shared and talked about cabbages, kings, walruses, and the Beatles. "I like the Beatles," she said. I did too. We had a lot in common. Walking her home by the park, I tried to hold her hand, and she tried to lean into me, I think, but youth and inexperience and lack of coordination kept us from making the connections we'd been waiting all our lives for, until finally, at 81st Street, beside the Museum of Natural History, which I hadn't visited since pulling Michelle Caliendo's bra strap in 6th grade, we stopped. And I leaned in, and she leaned in, and somehow, in some way, still mysterious to me, I kissed the first girl I'd ever dated. Not much happened after that. We were already near her apartment, and Much as I wanted to go upstairs for some soda or anything she'd offer, I had too much malted in my bloodstream and in my bladder, and I didn't know if I wanted Deborah's dad to see me bringing his oldest daughter home midday, drunk with me with a piss hard on like nothing I'd ever had before. When I delivered her to her door, she gave me a peck on the cheek, waved to her doorman, and went upstairs. I rushed into the center of the park and took the mother of all leaks. On Monday, I heard that Deborah had gotten grounded, which made me the rejection hurt a little less. Later, when I saw her in the halls, I acted totally cool, but could feel my heart shattering any illusions that I would get out of junior year with one iota of confidence left intact. I knew that nothing would keep me together a month later when I saw her holding hands with Jean-Pierre. Had she been using me all that time? Had she made me ask her out just so she could get her clutches into my best friend? It didn't matter. I still have memories of the day, and the park, and the Colt 45, and the lousy movie whose name to this day I still can't remember. And I guess that'll have to be enough. Oh wow, there's still more. On Sunday afternoon, after playing hard to get for a full 25 hours, I called Deborah to see when we could do it next. In hushed tones, she explained she didn't think it would be a good idea for us to see each other again, but that she had a really nice time, and she hoped we'd still be friends. I could never prove it, but I thought I heard her father, a man I'd never met, breathing in the background. She said she had to get off, and I held the phone for what seemed like minutes after she hung up. Thanks. I have one more. Oh, this is it. The tree we planted at my boy's birth still grows upward, outward, increasing its influence and health, while my boy long ago stopped. His plateau was so long ago, while that tree continues to climb. And the tree is lovely, and I'm glad we lay that seed, and I'm proud that something I brought into the world had attained such heights. But I just wish it had been my son, and that he'd gotten bigger, stronger, always rising, never coming down, until well after I'd been placed in pine.
Thank you, Barry. That was nice. I'm just struck that, one of the great things about Sidewalk Café is that we are, as I'm sure everybody here knows, all sort of one big happy family, and it's really nice to see all these people who all interlock and everything. Oh my God, I'm getting really emotional. And I'm thinking about that because of everybody's participation so far, but the next participant certainly fits into that category as a part of our big family, Peter DeZoza.
Yeah.
John Berger has a great wealth of poetry, and he's begun to sing as well. I'm very happy to hear these poems with music behind them and the way songs are formed, and we're seeing it organically happen here at Sidewalk, thanks to the band interaction and most recently just Sanjay and John Berger on Friday night. It was great. So I'm taking from the great American novel Floyd's Lament, because it talks about us and them. Of course, we all know there are two kinds of people in the world. There's us and them. For years, I've been a strong proponent of us. But lately, I've been reconsidering. They've got the better shoes. Their girlfriends are prettier. They play basketball far better than we ever could. They have bigger houses and nicer neighborhoods. But there's more. Their food is tastier. though you are hungry an hour later. They dress better. They're good with money. Hell, they run both the banks and the communist menace. Their whites are whiter and they're more loyal. And don't forget, they have more orgasms. They build the best temples. They're ruthless adversaries. They win all the wars. Their computers are first rate. No doubt about it, I'm switching to them. They say the grass is always greener. Well, whose lawn do you think it's on? So thanks, John.
Okay. Let's see.
I need to stand.
You need to stand? Okay. Speaking of a member of the Sidewalk family, here's one of our most core members, Ms. Debbie Dalton.
Hi guys.
Debbie.
Starter home. I almost brought up here a banjo price list or something else. But luckily I'm smart enough to look at the page before. Maybe I get to break something. When I first came here, John Berger used to break shit all the time. It was a lot of fun to watch him. He and I go way back. Way before here for me. I think we met at the C Note.
That's what I think.
That's what I think too, as I thought about it. He and I, remember one time we were talking across those tables, they had those long tables, and there was this woman sitting between us, and we were like talking back and forth, and then she said, "Oh, I'll move over," and both of us at the same time. I said, "No, it's okay, we're done." You don't have to. Another time he sweat in my beer glass.
I can't believe that. Extra flavor?
Yes. One time I asked the waitress, who I think her name was Sheena at the time. Anybody remember Sheena? Hello, Sheena. I can talk at you at the same time. I told her that I wanted to buy John Berger a beer or something. And she went over and asked him if he wanted a beer, and he asked if he could have breakfast. And she said no, which was kind of rude. I would have, had I had known, I would have let him have breakfast. But fuck, it's only $7. But my favorite story was at DTUT. I used to have a band. There was this other woman I used to play with, musical partner. Her name was Steph Stewips. Well, our name together was Dalton Lee. And she didn't want to come down here, so when I came down here by myself, I got my own gig here, and we were sort of done. But we still would go to this other open mic, DTUT, and she would ask me to play with her, and I was sort of afraid of her psychosis, shall we say. So I didn't want her to have an episode in front of my brand new friends, so I always would say yes. And John, for months, had already said, you know, you could kick her to the curb, you don't But I would say yes, and finally one time she was asking me, and right directly behind her was John, just standing there, not knowing what he was doing, and looking at me, and I was looking at him. She said, would you play? I would like to do this song. I was looking at him, and finally I just said to her, you know, I really don't want to, I'm tired. And she never asked me again. So thank you, John Berger.
John Berger saves the day.
Pushing my career forward without that woman. So he asked me to do this one. As I listened to it, there's bass in there, John. I have no bass, so I'll do my best. sparkly eyeliner. Not for how it looks, but so I can see in my inner mind the stars when I go to sleep. She wears a bright red sweater and a long slit skirt. And she asked about my sign, my risings, and my familiar. I'm not familiar with that term, I quip. She looks at me as if stupefied. I miss you. The other one, she wears the tight skirt and the thong underwear. Take my advice, she says. You never want to wear thong underwear. She looks and grins. Do you? No, I agree, I don't. They're pretty colors, though, she told me. You want to see? They are pretty colors. The bra, too, frilly, not like what's underneath. For one so soft, she's very athletic. I really miss you. She says that she was raped when she was very young. 13, she says. I was taken when I was still a teen. I didn't like it, she says. I keep hoping the next time will be better. It'll be different. I have to wear bigger glasses, I think, when I'm doing this for people. She shrugs and she looks at me. Sitting, waiting, wondering. Sometimes is when evening rears and I will try to take her and I'll see you here. And I try to take her out and then I'll be any different, any better. Better. Good grief. I miss you. She is blonde and beautiful and bouncy and busty and Botticellian and barely out of high school. College. No, I said high school. I know John Berger. Doesn't have to rhyme, does it? She's a graduate. gregarious, gorgeous, growth-oriented, both financially and emotionally, generous. And well, she's great. She's sweet and smart and strong and strange, and she's stuck on me. She is wonderful. She is bewitching. She will wear the white on Wednesday at our wedding. And all I can think about, even after all this time, this entire eternity apart, is just how much I miss you. John Berger. Thank you.
Debbie Dalton. Some of you may not be aware that the majority of the documentation of this scene over the last 20 years, and it's been quite a amazing scene with a lot of people coming through here, have gone on to do incredible things, and a lot of people are still here on a regular basis. But most of that documentation was done by John Berger, who has edited at least 3 different zines, I think, about Antifolk and Sidewalk Café. There's a picture of a cover of Antimatters over there, and Antimatters was what, like, John, 93 to when?
96 to 2000.
96 to 2000, and I believe that almost every issue was digitized by Peter DeZosa, and they are online, and you can read them, and they're awesome. I mean, they are kind of like the printed manifestation of what goes on here, and they're crazy too, but there's all kinds of great artwork. I mean, a lot of Jeffrey Lewis's original early comics and art are in Antimatters, and John was the editor of Jeffrey Lewis and other people, like, I don't know, there's a Kimya Dawson article, so maybe she was reporting to John as Cub reporter back then.
Everyone reported to John Berger in those days.
Everyone did. And then he did others, and he did Urban Folk. Some guy named Herb Scheer got his start as a photographer through there. And most recently, he has been editing the online blog at the sidewalknyc.com website. So you could, the whole history of Sidewalk Café, which is very rich, has been kept by John Berger. And now others are doing video documentation, and it's really cool how the community has kind of like created its own archive. Next up in our tribute is Mr. Joe Yoga.
Thank you. Your tepid smattering of applause means everything to me. The gays. The gays. The fucking gays have got to stop making me fuck them. With their pretty eyes, and their gorgeous tans, and their fucking rock-hard pecs. Jesus Christ, they have to keep it in my pants. How dare they make me fuck them like that? So sweet, so loving, making it all seem so magical and gay-tastic. Damned gays. The fucking gays. They're just completely kissable. And they have to stop, because I can't. John Berger wrote this poem for you. Pablo Picasso was called an asshole like 8 times a day, sometimes thrice before breakfast. From birth, this unjustifiable prick would lord his magnified genius over the rest of us, redefining art itself, sometimes in his sleep. He was called an asshole day and night and day, whether working in watercolors or charcoals, pouring coke into his studio. He was named a nasty man, described as a dick. Pablo Picasso was always called an asshole. But that's all right. It didn't stop his fame, his fortunate force of accomplishment. His announced assholery never stopped a single Sally from getting in his pants. He was beloved and astonishing despite being an ass. I aspire to that. I want to be a man respected regardless of his horrible behavior. I seek stardom and adulation without an instant of effort made towards another human being. I seek to be so great that the world loves me despite myself. I want to be called awful but still be called. I want to be an asshole but still be loved. It will happen someday. I've got half of it down. When they syndicated Bosom Buddies, one of the finest shitty sitcoms in the 70s, 80s, they presented it with a brand new theme song that had actually been the original. Though they perhaps thought they had got it right the first time, it was not as good as the one that had aired when the series was fresh, performed by a local artist in a New York state of mind. Why would they mess with the show? In that second wind, they mess with our childhoods. How I love those days, treasuring the boys' adventures under pressure and their honesty tested so often. I missed the show as it was meant to be when initially presented. Had they not butchered the past, had they left that tender moment alone, I would have watched those reruns over and over again. But now, I don't care anymore. Thanks. I'm gonna do one more. She asked why I was being weird, and I said, I'm not being weird, you're being weird. She begged to differ, looking at me like I was the crazy-eyed, lust-struck, incontinent stalker, which, while technically true, is not the only way to interpret the state of affairs. She had no clear evidence, after all, to support the supposition that I was acting off. She had experienced no baseline behavior to prove that the me that she was currently seeing was not the real me. She didn't even know my real name, though that was not a fact that I was at the moment ready to share. Whatever, Henri, she said, shaking head, trying to get away from me. She was moving so fast, she tripped over the styrofoam hookers I dropped while entering the room. And let me tell you, she looked really weird while doing it.
Yeah, just everybody leave your papers on the floor. We want it to feel like it normally does around here. Alex Norelli, are you here? Welcome, Alex.
John Berger, you're mine, man. We had this ongoing sort of thing. Supposedly there's supposed to be a dance-off sometime in the next 100 years.
It's gonna happen!
It's gonna happen. You don't know when, you don't know where, but it's
I got a
gonna
cramp right now, but totally, so dead.
Yeah, you always have cramps. Maybe you should have more electrolytes or something.
Wings.
So I went through a bunch of John Berger poems trying to find some more pensive ones that were like ones that aren't necessarily ones that he would yell, but it was hard to find. So I searched for 30 days and 30 nights, and I found one poem that was very quiet. It was called Imagination and Excuses from June 30th, 2012. The boys who promised you the moon are liars, or misleaders at the least. If they had moons to offer, why not simply rap and present? It's because they don't have no moon, stupid. They never do. If they had stars in their pockets or even in safes, gravity would ruin their property. The boys with promises have little to provide, but imagination and excuses. It is the problem with all boys who are poets and poor and promisers of the improbable. I went through and just found all the poems John wrote in June, because in June of different years, because for some reason that just seemed like a good thing to do. This one's called Misunderstood. And I always enjoyed John Berger's cynicism, how he just like, it's like he's not putting it on, it's just the way he is. I mean, it's like the most honest level of cynicism I've ever seen. I just like, it's like a really like, it's just a really, you should be in the Smithsonian. Misunderstood. The novels you write are not the novels anyone cares to read, which might be your intent, as your art may be too sophisticated for the huddled masses yearning to be free of inconvenience. Your work is for better people, theoretical people, people who deserve your brilliant thoughts and ideas, as opposed to all the folks whom you actually know and who have actually tried to slog through your text. They were not good enough for you. They do not appreciate what you produce and never will. You might as well accept it. You're before your time, and your novels will not be published while you're alive. You won't be published anytime afterwards either. But at least you won't live to see it. This last poem, or not a last poem, but this poem is actually called Alex Norelli. And it's a very famous poem because it's when I knew that John Berger was not just a friend but an enemy. Okay, Alex Norelli. Alex Norelli came to my show and then got pissed when I didn't go to his because I had better things to do. So he's boycotting me in the most aggressive, in the most passive-aggressive way. I'd love to see you go. I'd love to see your show, he says, but my twin sister is on her deathbed. Whatever, I know what's going on. Alex Norelli is missing my show, cutting off his nose to spite my face. My face is unspited, spite-free, facially unspited, whatever. He is missing out on what is no doubt a life-changing experience. He is missing me play with my band, and we don't suck. Alex Norelli is at serious risk of embarrassing himself before his peers by missing Juan Borghese play at Tuesday, August 26th at the Sidewalk. Don't be like Alex Norelli. Be careful. Be aware. Come to my show. This is another poem. This is actually written not in June, so I shouldn't be reading it, but I will. History will reflect poorly on this show. The reviewers will not know what to make of the self-reflective nature of the words or the hypercritical tone of the narrator. Who surely could have spent more time on the content and less on the abuse of himself, others, the audience, and history itself. The stuttering, the sexism, the stagnancy of theme, and senselessness in story, all will serve the gods of entertainment quite poorly. The show, simply put, will suck. History will not speak well of this performance. For history has high standards and quick judgments that are slow to change, and there is every reason for you to get up in the middle and go on with your life. But keep this in mind, you will get what you pay for. Is there enough time for one more? I just picked this one because it's sort of like there's pizza in it. The nether regions of Newark. What we have before us is unacceptable. This thing will not do. Look ahead and imagine what will occur if we have anything but a zero-tolerance policy towards what we have seen. Do you understand this fate we face? If this goes on, a line must be drawn. We must say no. No to the words that oppress us. No to the things that enslave. We must allow nothing to get in our way. And they must allow us to return the pizza. This soggy old pizza, which smells like it came from the nether regions of Newark. At no cost. Look, the cheese is uncooked. Look, the crust is burnt. Look, there are these are day-old fish innards and not anchovies we requested. Look, look, look. Now turn away and refuse to face this thing today. Give it up and revert this pie of last reproach to the back room from whence it came. Send back this pizza of discontent. None here shall dine on it tonight, except perhaps the wolves and homeless that prowl about. We seek better fare, with more olives, and we shall feast. Thank you.